And it's going through and loading the database. Everything looks good so far. This will take a little bit of time here the first time. No errors, and we're good to go. This is an updated video on how to install ezbeq. There are multiple ways to run it. The easiest is on a Raspberry Pi. Links down below to everything you're going to need. Most of us are going to be running at least one MiniDSP box to control our subs and transducers. That's what's going to control everything. It's also coming publicly very soon to the Shaky Q box. This is the card I happen to run on my Raspberry Pi, but any good endurance card will work just fine. I'll be working on a PC, but the actual commands are the same whether you're doing this on a Mac. First thing is to put the card in your reader. This is going to be a quick and easy updated video on how to install ezbeq onto your Raspberry Pi for use with the BEQ project. Links down below to the main thread here on AVS Forum, and the software installation instructions, which we'll be stepping through, and the Raspberry Pi Imager, which installs the OS onto your card and your system. I'm on Windows. I'm going to download for Windows. When it completes, run the program. I use English. Next. Accept. Next. Don't need a shortcut. Next. And finish. Launching the app. Choose device. I run a 4. Choose OS. We want the top one. Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit. Storage. Be very careful. Make sure the card is correctly selected here, wherever you put it into your computer. Click it. Next. Click Edit Settings here. Yes, we want to apply customizations. Check Set Username and Password. Put whatever username and password you want. This is for actually logging into the Raspberry Pi, so don't forget it. Mine is wired via Ethernet. If you're going to be using Wi-Fi, which I don't suggest, click Configure Wireless LAN and put in your information there. Under Services, make sure you check Enable SSH. This will allow us to get into the box remotely over your network without needing a keyboard and monitor and all that. And it will use the same password you just set in general. Click Save. Options is good as is. Click Save. Then back on this screen, click Yes. One final warning, make sure you've got the correct card selected and press Yes. Now it's going to go ahead and prepare that card and put on the Raspberry Pi OS with the customizations. How long this takes depends on your internet speed and your card speed. It should only take a couple minutes. Once the install finishes, it will verify. And now we can remove it, close the imager. Make sure the Raspberry Pi is turned off, connected via USB to the MiniDSP box. Install your card, turn the box on, and then go make a sandwich, come back in 15 minutes, and it will be fully booted. Now we need to connect to the Pi via SSH, which is using the command line from another computer to give it commands. The first thing we need to do is give the Pi an IP address. This is done in your router. I can't show you these instructions because it completely depends on what model router you have. Just Google your router model, such as TP-Link, whatever model, and address reservation. And you'll find the instructions on how to give all of your devices their own IP address. Once you have that, that's all you need to do in this step. Open a command prompt. The easiest way is just to hit the Windows key on your keyboard. Start typing command, C-O-M, and you'll see command prompt show up. Just click it. And it will bring up a command prompt. This is where we're going to be doing all the work. And from here, we're going to be stepping through all these instructions. Don't worry, I'm going to make it very simple. And I'll put each step with everything you need to copy paste down in the description of this video as well. Type SSH space the username that you set, the @sign, the IP address you assigned to the Pi, hit enter. Now the password that you set, this is what it'll look like from a normal first time login. Now we're going to start stepping through the install here. Again, I'll put everything in the description. You won't actually have to pull information from this page, so it'll be a lot simpler. This first command needs a little bit of customization. Whenever you see these brackets in commands like this, it means this is an example. So file name isn't actually what we're going to be typing or pasting. It needs to be replaced with something. Same with version. And where we pull what we need to put in is from this page here, this link where it actually says here. For version, that's this right here, v0.1.12. For file name, it's going to be one of these here. We're looking for the one that says arm64.deb. And that's this one right here, arm64.deb. This whole thing, that's the file name. So I'm going to copy this template here, paste it here. Version, I'm going to copy and replace where it says version in brackets. And file name, this is a little tricky because this is a link, so it's a little tricky to actually move your cursor just to the edges of it. So you can select the text, because we want the text, not the actual file. Copy that with the keyboard, and then paste it where it says file name in brackets. So now this is the full command that we're going to copy, and then right-click to paste. And now you can see this is the actual command that we're going to be running in the window here just by typing enter. That's how Linux works. That's how things are installed instead of downloading and clicking on an exe or an install file. I know, it sucks. So if you're watching this window and this is still what you see when you go to this page, you can just copy and paste this right from the description below. The next file we have to install, very similarly, we have to replace this where it says file name in brackets with that same file name that we pasted from the last step. So I'm going to copy all of this. Then I'm going to copy that same file name. Make sure that you stop at the edge of a letter when you're copying things. Don't go too far so you get a blank space in there. That will sometimes screw things up. So I'm going to copy that and replace where it says file name in brackets down here. Now copy that whole line again. And right-click to paste in your SSH command prompt window. Type enter. And it will go ahead and install that part. This is the software that actually communicates from the Pi to the MiniDSP box so it can control things. Now to make sure that's running correctly, copy this command right here, MiniDSP, it's just text, right-click to paste, type enter, and we should see this. This is just the response back from the MiniDSP box, and that means the Pi can communicate with it and all is well. If you see anything except this, then you have done something wrong. Go back and make sure that you didn't copy and paste something incorrectly. Next, we need to run two commands, and this will let us access the MiniDSP over our network and use the MiniDSP software when we need to. And that way we don't have to use our computer to physically connect to the MiniDSP anymore or use the Wi-Fi bridge. You can actually use the Raspberry Pi to access it anywhere on your network. Highlight this whole first line, copy it, right-click to paste, type enter, come back here, grab this whole second line, copy, right-click to paste, enter. Okay, that's done. Now we can go ahead and install Python software. Highlight this whole line, copy, right-click to paste, enter. Type Y, enter, and it will go ahead and install everything needed. Now we need to run 4 commands in a row. Do these one line at a time, copy and pasting each one. Right-click, enter. Next one. You can, of course, type these as well, but if you're on a keyboard and mouse, this is way faster, especially if you have to be reading one screen and typing on another. This just gets us into the correct place for the next steps. So now that we're in the correct spot, we're going to run these commands to actually install the ezbeq software. Make sure that you don't miss this period at the start of the line here. Grab that whole thing, copy, right-click paste, and enter. And now the next line, copy, paste. This will take some time. And that took about 1 minute here. Now we're going to check and make sure that everything got done correctly. Do this command here, copy, paste, and the next one to actually run the software manually. Don't worry, we'll set it up to automatically run when the system reboots here shortly. Paste. And it's going through and loading the database. Everything looks good so far. This will take a little bit of time here the first time. No errors, and we're good to go. So now we just need to open a browser, either on your computer, your phone, your tablet, or whatever, anything on your network. And we're going to just go to the IP address of your Pi with a :8080 after it. So in my case, it's going to look just like this. Just go to that in any browser, and you should see your server running. Everything looks good. And very quickly, just to show you how to use the program, these are the 4 slots of your MiniDSP, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are your presets in your MiniDSP software. You can choose any movie, choose any filter, I should say. And over on the right here is an upload button. These numbers right here, 1, 2, 3, or 4, are where you're going to upload the filter to, which preset, which slot. This just shows you the status. I have nothing loaded in any of the slots. So if, for example, I prefer to use slot 4, personal preference, it makes absolutely no difference which one you choose. But I use slot 4 for loading whatever I'm going to be watching at the moment. I keep slot 1 always empty because I happen to have in my Harmony routine, when I turn off my system, it automatically changes to slot 1, which I always keep with no filter. That way, if I accidentally forget to unload a filter, or my wife uses the system and she's watching a different movie, it might have the wrong filter loaded, I know that no matter what, when the system comes back on, it's going to be in preset 1 with nothing loaded. But again, that's personal preference. You can do whatever you want. Point is, pick wherever you want the filter to upload to and just click upload. I just heard my subs click, and you can see now slot 4 shows whatever I just uploaded. And if you want to put something in another slot, you can upload into that. You can put whatever you want in whatever you want. If you want to just clear everything out, use the X's up here, and it will clear everything out manually. And that's it. That's as easy as it is using ezbeq. And this is why I'm such an advocate for it, because it is just a pleasure to use the BEQ system this way. And that's all this instructions here is telling you how to use the system. So now we're going to skip down here and actually modify one file. This is a little tricky. You have to pay attention to a few different spots, and this will make the system automatically load everything when you reboot your Pi, so you never have to go in there and mess with anything again. So back in our command prompt, we're actually running the software here manually in the window, and that's not what we want to do. This isn't what's going to happen automatically, so we need to stop this. I don't actually remember the command to stop running manually. I think it's Control Z? Yes, okay. So just hold down Control and click Z, and that will stop the program and get you back to your command prompt line here. Okay, so now we're going to copy and paste this command, and this basically opens a very basic text editor. Don't worry, it's easy enough to use. Copy, right-click to paste, enter. Now, if you're old like me, this will probably look familiar because way back in elementary school, this is the kind of command prompts we had. So we're going to copy and paste all of this. This is what we're going to put in our new file. So copy, right-click to paste. Now, you'll note that we have some directories here, WorkingDirectory, ExecStart, etc. We need to change where it says Pi, because this is actually the default username that Raspberry Pi used to use, but you set your own, remember. In my case, my username is Brian. Your username is whatever you set. So just use the cursors on your keyboard and you can go up, and wherever you see pi, this is one I often forget, this one right in the middle of the line here, change that to whatever username you set. So I'm typing Brian, and this one right above it, Brian, whoop, typo, I'm not left-handed. Now I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss any here. Yep, right there, see, there's 3 of them. Brian. So if you didn't get 3, you missed one. All right, now we just need to save it. And of course, Linux doesn't call it save, they call it write out. So you're gonna hit Control and O. It's gonna ask you to verify the file name. Yes, that's the correct file name, just type enter. Okay, and now we can exit, Control X. And we're back to the command line. Now we need 2 more commands. Copy this one, right click to paste, and the next one, copy, paste. Now it will automatically start everything anytime the Raspberry Pi is booted or rebooted. And we can verify with this command right here, just to make sure. Copy and paste. And we've got data back. So it is running. I'm just arrowing down here, and now we're at the end. No errors, all looks good. Control Z to get back to the command line. And you don't have to, but if you want to, you can issue this command, which will reboot the Pi just to make sure everything's good. No harm in checking from a fresh reboot. So I'm going to copy that, paste, and now it closed the connection because that actually rebooted the Raspberry Pi. So give it a minute, then go back to your browser and try reloading it again. And of course, don't forget to bookmark it because that's what you'll go to. And if you're on an iPhone or iPad, you can put that bookmark to your home screen and it makes a nice shortcut. Now, pretty much everything current is added automatically by us various authors. If you have special requests, if there's something in the catalog that is released, but yet not in the BEQ system, you can request it here in this thread here, which I'll also link down below, the BASIQ for filtered movies. And this is simply a discussion with us where you can say, hey, can someone please make a filter for such and such? And that is as easy as it gets. Hope it helps.